but it's clear that the pterosaurs now had rivals in the sky. And perhaps in response, they began to evolve in some quite extraordinary ways. In Texas, aeronautical engineers are trying to understand the pterosaur that is surely one of the oddest creatures that ever flew. It had a simply enormous head crest. It's called Tapejara. This reconstruction of it is the result of 7 years of study by evolutionary biologist Dr. Sankar Chatterjee. He used data from fossils discovered in Brazil, and he has advanced some revolutionary theories as to how this animal used its amazing body.
This huge crest was developed, some kind like motion sensor. So they could pick up if there is a disturbance in the wind, and they could relay to the inner ear, they have a very large ear, and which is like a gyroscope.
So nerves in this go down into the brain?
Brain.
So any factor working on this is going to be relayed to the brain?
Relayed to the brain. It's almost like autopilot device. It's a sensor. Also, it's a beautiful steering device.
This is much more extreme than any other.
Right.
So what could this do that the others couldn't do?
One of the things, as I said, that they could really turn very quickly. So it's like a steering. It's like a radar in front.
So this enabled them, in fact, to be more aerobatic.
Aerobatic, yes.
Some specimens of Tapejara show that it had fur. And that suggests that it was warm-blooded. Warm blood enables an animal to generate the abundant energy that's needed for aerobatics. But Dr. Chatterjee has another imaginative and controversial interpretation of Tapejara's bizarre anatomy.
What we have found, especially this model, we did some simulations. That is, when they simply raised their wing, they could also sail.
You think that it could not only fly in the air, but it went down to sail on the sea, is that right?
There's a very good chance when they land on water during the foraging, because they are probably hot-blooded, they need lots of food, lots of fish. And during the foraging, maybe the whole daytime, they'll just eat and eat and eat. So how to move, how to cover the large area. And it looks like that it was a beautiful, sailing animal, just like a sailboat.
Did the head crest have a function when it was on the water?
I think so. Basically, when they're sailing, the head crest would be just like a jib, the very front sail of a sailing boat. And these two would be the main sail. And simply by, arranging these, 3 sails, they could really sail very fast.
Swans and geese today sometimes lift their wings to catch gusts of air, a behaviour called goose winging. So perhaps Tapejara did indeed do something similar. But big head crests had a much more likely function. There are clues of what that might be in animals alive today, like this colony of gannets on Bass Rock off the coast of Scotland.
Pterosaurs doubtless would have lived in great groups around the ancient coastlines, and living in tightly packed communities then as now must have led to all kinds of dramas, just as it does in communities like this one.
Gannets, nesting close to one another, squabble with their neighbours over food and territory. Pterosaurs doubtless also competed with one another for the attentions of the opposite sex. So perhaps Tapehara used its huge head crest in displays to its mate during the breeding season, and indulged in the same sort of strutting performances that so many birds do today. After their courtship, pterosaurs, just like birds, laid eggs.
This fossilized egg, which is about the same size as one of these gannet eggs, is actually the egg of a pterosaur. And although it's squashed flat, it's marvellously preserved, so you can see details of the bone inside. The head, as you would expect with a bird head, is quite well formed. It's amongst this mass of bones here. But whereas a bird's wings would hardly be formed at this stage, here the pterosaur wings have got these well-formed bones in them. And that leads us to one extraordinary conclusion. A pterosaur chick, when it hatched, was almost immediately able to fly.
The bones of the pterosaur embryo reveal another extraordinary fact. They develop in a way quite different from birds. And what is more, they continue to do so even after the young have hatched. This led to some species becoming gigantic. Here, in the southwestern United States, close to the Mexican border, evidence was found of the largest animal ever to fly. A pterosaur so gigantic that for years some scientists refused to believe that it could have existed.